everybody? Dan Unfiltered Wrestling. Clash of Champions 2020 just ended. And I'm kind of delighted. I'm kind of delighted here. Let's just talk about it. The pre-show. Yeah, who gives a shit? Cesaro versus Nakamura. Or Cesaro and Nakamura versus Kalisto and Lince Dorado. There was an okay match. Let's be serious. Nakamura and Cesaro can't have terrible matches. They're just impossible to do that. They retained. The Lucha House Party did not explode or break up. No angles happened. So who cares? They're probably saving that for SmackDown. But it's a pre-show, so that's fine. Who cares? Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title in a ladder match. I'm not sure why they still were hanging two titles up there. That's kind of weird. Just like I get it. There's an interim champ and the actual champion, and that's why there are two belts at a time. Like UFC, it happens all the time. But when the winner wins, it's just one belt. It unifies it. You still don't have two goddamn champions. So I don't know. I just think you needed one hanging up there. We didn't need two. But whatever. The match was incredible. Like, when you hear Corey Graves or Michael Cole screaming, that was the damnedest match I've seen. Usually, like, come on. No, it wasn't. This was crazy. This was up there. This was literally the definition of a damnedest match. Spots galore. Like, more unique spots than I can even describe. Like, Jeff Hardy. Good God. I've never even been a big Jeff Hardy fan like that. I don't know why. Never really connected with me. But, damn. Especially for his age. That guy put himself through hell here. Just absolute hell. And AJ Styles looked like a star. Of course, that was great. And Sami Zayn looked like an absolute slime bag. Also great. And Sami got the victory. Handcuffs were used. Handcuffs through Jeff Hardy's hole in his ear, his gape. It's crazy. It was crazy. Like, there's so much. We got the classic Jeff Hardy on the 20-foot ladder, standing at the top, which I don't even know how he just stands up there. That thing is shaking and moving. And he swantons through a ladder, and that one was, like, when WrestleMania 17, he did it to, I think it was one of the Dudleys or Rhino or something, through some tables. He kind of half glanced. Oh, this was no glance. He went right goddamn through Sami Zayn. Whoo! And somehow that wasn't the end of the match. I think it was like, they were still good, like 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes left. This match was crazy. Was it the greatest ladder match ever? No. Probably not. But it's going to be a match of the year candidate. I think that's the best match I've seen this year on WWE television. That was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. I immediately want to rewatch that. It was really good. Like, incredibly good. If you somehow did not see that match, for some reason you came in late, go fucking back and rewatch that match. It's so good. Then we had Asuka versus Zelina Vega. Who cares? We all know Asuka was going to win. She won. Yeah, about 7 minutes. Zelina Vega is actually good in the ring. So, it's just they've never portrayed her character that way, so we can't get excited for a title match with her in it. We know she's not going to win. And she lost. That's about it. She tapped out. Nothing exciting. It felt rushed. Who cares? And then the who cares match of the night. Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. In 8 minutes, Bobby Lashley beat Apollo, made him tap out clean. That's it. Thank God it's over. Hopefully it doesn't return. I don't want to hear Apollo. No. No more Apollo. Get the fuck away from the United States Championship. It is over for you. It's done. Let's move on. Please, for Christ's sake. My only question here was, where was Cedric Alexander? He wasn't even at ringside. Felt like he should have been there. That was weird. Then we had the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the tag team titles. Street Profits won. And the match was actually good. It was good. Like, the more these guys wrestle, which it's been fucking months. It's been way too long. Like, way too long. It's been happening since WrestleMania, for Christ's sake. It's been way too long. But the one bright side is the more they wrestle, the more chemistry they clearly have with each other in the ring. This match was really looking good. And then we had a weird finish where the ref counted 3 when clearly Andrade kicked out. That's weird. And the commentators like talked about it a lot, and they even showed the replay. So I don't think it was an actual referee mistake. I think this was the planned ending, and I don't know if it's a heel turn coming for the Street Profits, or is it just an excuse to keep this feud going again, on and on and on. That could be what it is. That might be it. That might be it. Makes your ref look like a dumbass just so we can keep doing this match again. I hope not. I hope it's a storyline reason and maybe we're turning the Street Profits heel. They're kind of getting stale as faces anyway. They really need a crowd as faces. Like, they're dying out there. It's like a comedian telling jokes with no one there. They're dying out there. Turn them heel. Then we had Asuka versus Bayley, which was very strange because Bayley was supposed to face Nikki Cross, but in the pre-show they said Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax weren't medically cleared to wrestle tonight. And my initial reaction was, sweet! Thank fucking God! That's going to make the show run so much smoother! We didn't need those matches anyway. And it helped. It did. The card just flowed better without those matches. Except they had to have Bayley. She did an open challenge. And of everyone on the roster, maybe a Lacey Evans. I don't know. Maybe you could have had Sasha return here. And then, of course, not get a finish, but just immediately a DQ happens. Just have them fight real quick in 2 minutes. DQ. Set up their Hell in a Cell match. I'd be fine with that. Asuka, who had a match earlier. And we've already seen this match tons of times. Asuka versus Bayley. We're done. Finito. No more, please. And we just saw Asuka, like, do a 2-match pay-per-view recently. I don't think she needs to do it again. But whatever. Asuka won by disqualification. Sasha Banks appeared and attacked Bayley afterwards. Cool, I guess. The attack was nice. I don't think Asuka was necessary to be the person here. So we had Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in an ambulance match for the WWE title. Now, this match was a hell of a lot of fun. It was. And it was pretty brutal. Like, this one actually did feel like an ambulance match. We actually had some brutal spots here. They beat the hell out of each other all over the place. There was a back body drop onto Drew McIntyre, which cut on the top of a car on their little fakish windshield things. And it cracked, and it actually cut him up pretty good. Like, he had a good bit of gashes on his back. And throughout the match, clearly they're doing the sins of my past story, which, that's fine. Everyone Randy Orton took out, every legend he took out, made an appearance. Big Show was first. Then I think it was Christian, and then Shawn Michaels. The only problem with that, which is great to see these guys, and it's a good story to tell, but that's a story you tell when Randy Orton's facing the Hurricane, Gregory Helms. There you go. Someone like that. Drew Gulak, if you want. Maybe even Sami Zayn. Maybe a babyface Sami Zayn, you could have told this story perfectly in a feud with Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre's a fucking animal. A humongous Scotsman who beat Brock Lesnar clean at WrestleMania. And this kind of made it feel like he needed a lot of help to beat Randy here. Every time Randy had him dead to rights, here comes another Hall of Famer to hit their finisher on Randy Orton. And then once they walked away, Randy would get back to beating Drew's ass. So that part was kind of weird. It didn't make Drew look great. Drew did win. And the match was a lot of fun. Good spots, great moments, very memorable. Another match I'm gonna want to rewatch immediately. But the using the legends against Drew McIntyre, I don't know about that. It's Drew fucking McIntyre. We've been telling this story that he's a monster for months. And now it's like he literally, clearly needed 3 Hall of Famers' help. Like, he was getting his ass kicked, and then they'd come out of nowhere. But whatever. Still a great match. Very enjoyable. And I don't even know what to... Are we just going to take that to Hell in a Cell? McIntyre, Randy Orton now? Is that what we're at that point? Like, how many opportunities does Randy get? It's getting kind of crazy without him winning. Or we just separate them and Randy just doesn't win the title. Then the main event. And I called it. They put it in the right order. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. And let's just be serious here. This was a long, glorified squash match. It was actually the longest squash match I think I have ever seen. 22 minutes. 22 minutes, 55 seconds. So 23 minutes of ass whooping. And Jey Uso got in, I'd say about 90 seconds of offense, something like that. Which for a 22-minute match, he needs to get something. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. This was all about the storytelling of Roman Reigns and his family. In wrestling, some matches are about technical ability. Some are about spots. This was 100% storytelling. And fuck, do I miss that in wrestling. This match was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was. And it was barely a match. It was like watching a scene from Lion King. Or Black Panther. This is your king? Like, Roman just kept... he was talking shit the whole time to Jey Uso about how he's been beating his ass like this for years. The main thing, call me chief. Tell me I am your chief. And that felt fucking personal. And I'm not in their family. I'm like, fuck off. No. I'm not calling any other man you're my chief. Get the fuck away from me. Great storytelling. Excellent storytelling. And Roman refused to pin him. Refused to win before he calls him chief. And then Jimmy returns, limping. Good job still limping. I'm not sure what his actual health is. So if he's okay, I'm glad he was still selling the injury. Limping out there with a towel. And him and Jay get into it about him throwing it in, don't throw in the towel, don't throw in the towel. And he eventually does. He throws in the towel, and he tells Roman, you are my chief. Crazy. Crazy great storytelling. That match alone, I thought when this feud was here, I was excited for it. Jay versus Roman for a world title is exciting. It's so fresh. And the story is like literally right there, easy to grasp and hold on to. But I thought it would just be a one-off. One-off. Just here, fill it in until we get Roman's real challenger for Hell in a Cell. No. It needs to be Jey Uso in a rematch inside Hell in a Cell. They told this story so well in this one match that I don't need to see any episode of SmackDown between now and Hell in a Cell to not be sold and super into and excited for Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns inside a Hell in a Cell. Who the fuck thought I would ever say those words? I am excited for that match. And I need that to be the match. I do. Now, they could easily just not make it a Hell in a Cell match and just a, kind of like an I Quit match, but a Call Me Chief match? Something like that? They could do that. But I hope not. I want it inside Hell in a Cell. Crazy. Crazy. Absolutely love that match. Way more than I should have. Wow. Overall, even though, to me, this was only a 3-match pay-per-view. 3 matches. I don't need to rewatch anything else on here. There's so many of the other stuff we've seen tons and tons and tons of times. But there were 3 matches that were so goddamn good, or at least memorable, or at least fun, that I gotta rewatch it. I give this show, Clash of Champions 2020, A-. An A minus. That's a great grade. WWE's been really good lately with their storytelling. It's crazy. It is. I don't know what the hell's gotten up Vince's ass, but this is really working right now. If this was in front of a crowd, this show would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. But still, A minus. And the only reason it's not an A or an A plus would be the Legends kind of hurting Drew McIntyre a little bit. Great story, just not the right one with Drew involved. And the fact that we had like 3 or 4 other matches that literally, who gives a shit about? That's it. Filler matches. But the 3 big ones were so good that just, where's my, take my money. Take my fucking money, man. That was great. I'm going to rewatch that. As soon as I turn this camera off, I'm rewatching this pay-per-view. I may skip the women's stuff. No offense to the women, but this was not their night. The injuries, the COVID most likely stuff really messed them up. But the rest was pretty goddamn good. Pretty goddamn good. Let me know what you guys think. What was your grade? Is that ladder match the match of the year? It might be. Let me know. Let me know. And if you are still here, you are a real one. God damn, man. Great storytelling. Roman, man, the best heel work I've seen in about a decade. He's been phenomenal.